be structured. Thank you very much. Okay, I will accept. The meeting of today will be structured according to several presentations provided by the colleagues of mine, so that you will also have the chance to see them. I'm sure that with some of them you have already exchanged several communication and emails. So let's start. And I would like to ask Lucia Cagliari to take virtually the floor and to start according to our agenda to provide you with some practical information on how to fill in and properly report us your activities. So I give the floor to Lucia. Welcome, Lucia, and let's start.
Hello to everybody. I will share my presentation. Please confirm me that you are seeing it in full screen. Okay, can you see it? Hello?
No.
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 Okay, again. Now?
No.
Now can you see?
No.
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Oh my God. So I do it again into browser. You say that I got the problem with my browser that prevent me to share the screen. Maybe I have to be, I don't know. Can someone please share the screen with my presentation and I...
Okay, so I can share the very last
version.
slide
Sorry, but
on your
I
behalf.
got this.
Okay, give me a moment, okay?
Okay. Okay, so my name is Lucia Cagliari. I am a project officer within the ADOR.JS. My presentation would like to provide you with inputs and instruction on how to correctly report your activities and expenditure, which is a delicate and very important, let's say, procedure within your project implementation. Just to remind you that the payment process of EU funds within the ADOR program is based on the reimbursement of expenditure already paid by project partners and included in the project progress report. The project progress report must be validated by almost all the ADOR authorities, which is the JS, the managing authority, and the certifying authorities. In this sense, our strong suggestion is to provide a very detailed, complete progress report in order to avoid eventual requests for integration, for revision that can come from the JS, from the MAE, from the certifying authority, and that will, let's say, slow down the payment process. So the more you are accurate in filling in your partner and project report, the fastest you will be reimbursed. As far as partner report and project report, your project will have one overall reporting period, which is period 1, covering the whole project duration, which is 9 months from the beginning of January up to the end of September. The deadline for reporting the expenditure is end of December 2023. As already said by Barbara, there will no, let's say, availability of prorogation of such deadline because the program is in its ending phase. You also have a report 0 devoted to preparation cost. Information have been already provided during the kickoff meeting. And you can claim your preparation cost after the signature of the subsidy contract and of the partnership agreement. Such details will be provided also by my colleague Marco Zecchinato in its presentation with regard to the cost eligible for preparation. Eventual additional report can be requested by the managing authority in case of the commitment risk, but don't be scary about this possibility because you will be informed in time if this will be the case. Next slide, please. Okay, so each partner is involved in the reporting of its expenditure. First of all, each partner must be assigned with the partner role by the lead partner in EMS. The reporting procedure is completely paperless and is done in EMS. Once assigned with the partner role, and I think that at this point you've been already assigned, you can assess your reporting section. I suggest you to create your partner report 0 in case you have dedicated budget to preparation cost, and also to open your partner report 1, which will cover the whole project implementation phase. As said, you are suggested to open it well in advance in order to meet the deadline. So you can include information on the activities you have implemented, on the expenditure you have incurred. Once one expenditure is paid, you are allowed to include it in your partner report. So in case you will have no expenditure, but hopefully this case will not occur since you have just one reporting period, you are requested to, let's say, prepare a report 1 with 0 expenditure and to submit it to your first level controller in order to receive a certificate 0 expenditure. This rule does not apply for preparation cost. So next slide, please. Okay, so which are the tasks of the partner? The partner have to provide information at content level, and then I will provide you more details on which information and documentation you are required to include in your partner report. You have to upload and collect expenditures and related documentation. You have to upload a declaration, which must be signed by your legal representative and must be provided into the attachment section of your partner report. And the template of such declaration is also available on the other website. Then he is required to submit the partner report via EMS to the first level controller, and at that point the first level controller will check and issue the certificate of expenditure, which will be available in EMS. As said, you must respect the deadline. So given that first level controller we need almost 3 months to deliver the certificates, in order to meet the deadline of the end of December, you are required to submit your partner report via EMS to your first level controller on 10 October at the latest. Next slide, please. Okay, so at the content level, please consider that you have to provide the summary information on your contribution to the implementation of project activities. Of course, information must be aligned with what is included in the approved application form. So always counter-check what is expected by the project, by the approved project. Please consider to pay attention to the start and end date of your partner report. It seems a trivial detail, but it's very often mistakes in our experience based on your projects. You have to provide information on the contribution you gave at the output level, so the achievement of the output, which was your contribution, and you have to upload a testing document. So the documents must be uploaded here in this section. Next slide, please. Then you have to provide information on the target group. This is very delicate aspects of the partner report, because the information you are providing here will feed the project report, and the project report will be prepared by the lead partner, but the lead partner needs each partner to be very accurate in the description and indication of the target group that have been involved during project implementation. Please consider that target group must be included here only if actively and, let's say, effectively involved, which means that general sending of newsletter or distribution of leaflet or just publication of, let's say, post on the social media is not considered valid for counting, let's say, a proper involvement of target group. So you have to have a reply from an active reply, an active involvement of the target group. The target group categories will be shown up automatically, displayed within your partner report in EMS according to what is provided into the application form. In case you provide the category of, let's say, general public, please consider that you must include the gender data, which is the number of male and female that you've been included under this category of target group. Please counter-check that information you are collecting from your partners in order to avoid double counting, in case the same institution is counted in more than once by your project partner. So next slide, please. This section requires to provide information on the contribution you have provided at activity level and also at deliverable level. First of all, you have to, let's say, to indicate what you've been doing to achieve what is foreseen by the application form. With this respect, you have to indicate eventual problems or deviation and provide justification in relation to the activities. Please consider that each deviation, if the case, if you need to make a deviation, must be previously agreed with the JS. As in the output case, you are also required to include a testing documentation to prove the effective contribution you declare. Next slide. As far as the financial side of the partner report, please consider that is represented by this list of expenditure. Here, detailed information on each expenditure must be provided. So you must refer to the correct budget line and select by the list available in the MS. You must indicate the work package of reference. You must consider the date of payment, the invoice number, the invoice date, and all these details that are listed into the EMS. Please consider that all amounts to be included here must be indicated in the currency in which the expenditure has been paid, and that this currency is automatically converted by the system. Here again, you must upload the attesting document for each budget line. There is a list of attesting document which is required, and such documentation is available into the implementation manual. So please carefully check the implementation manual with this regard. Next slide. Again, the partner is asked to fill in this section. This section is called contribution and forecast. Given that you have one overall reporting period, no forecast is required, but you're required to confirm the amount of financial contribution. As you know, the EU funds covered 85% of your total budget, while 50% must be provided by your different source of co-financing. So here, the system automatically displays the amounts of what is due as national co-financing, and you are required to indicate, to copy, to text, let's say, and include the same amounts into that box that is indicated into my slide. Again, you have to confirm the source of co-finances as included in the application form. In case some modification occur in the meanwhile, you are allowed to modify such source of co-financing. Next slide. In the attachment section, you are required to enclose, let's say, all the documents that is needed. For example, in case of target group attesting documents are not included at deliverable level, you are allowed to include in the attachment section. Again, you are requested to include your declaration, your partner declaration here. You have also a section devoted to personal data attachments. You can choose to upload some, let's say, sensitive information such as contract or payslip series if you require. Please consider that the attachment section can be opened and closed by the partner whenever it is needed. So there's no need to require the JS or the lead partner to do this. The next slide, please. Once you complete the partner report, you are required to check Save Report. I suggest you to, let's say, to print or to download a PDF version in order to check if all the, let's say, boxes and documents have been correctly filled in and completely information have been provided. And once everything is correct, you can submit the report. After the, let's say, this step must be completed within 30 minutes from the check. And once it is submitted, you can no longer revise the report, and it is automatically forwarded to your first level controller. And at that point, the first level controller will check, will require additional information and integration if the case. Next slide. The first level controller is requested to issue the following documentation: the certificate, the checklist, and the control report. The certificates includes several information on the controls performed, on the finding, on the conclusion, recommendation, follow-up measure, and the overall quality of the report. Please consider that the first level controller can also proceed in deducting some expenditure if such the expenditure is deemed not eligible and not in line with program rules. Here in this section, you can check the date of the status of first level control verification. And once the certificate is issued, you will find it into the certificate column. Next slide, please. As said, you are warmly requested to respect the deadline, as already remind you, to submit your partner report within 10 days after the closure date of your reporting period. The certificates, therefore, must be available within the end of the year in order to be correctly included into the project report. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, so the project report substantially mirrors the structure of the partner report. It is up to the lead partner to fill in the project progress report. But the information to be included must, let's say, be delivered by each partner. So the lead partner is suggested to define specific deadlines for receiving the contribution in time for a proper preparation of the project progress report. Next slide. You have different sections. You have the report section. Here, you are required to provide detailed information in relation to the following aspects: the main project achievements during the whole life of project implementation, starting from the very start date, the level of achievement of project-specific objective. You're required to select the level of achievement, which is, let's say, automatically given by in a list by the EMS system, and you have to provide description of which is the contribution. You have to indicate the level of achievement of project outputs. You have to upload documents attesting the achievement of such project outputs. And in relation to this, please be aware that the program specifies requirements for each output category, different from the action plan, from the strategies, from the network. So you are warmly recommended to check these requirements into the manual at the project closure chapter. In addition, let's say the documents related to the outputs must be countersigned by the legal representative of the project partners as indicated in the application form. So you are suggested to prepare such documents well in advance in order to avoid the request for revision, integration by the GIS. You have to indicate the each target group. The same rules presented for the partner report are valid for the project progress report. You have to indicate problems and solution in case you encounter some, and the description of the horizontal principle. You have to provide also information at the WUPI level. You have to indicate the WUPI status, which hopefully will be completed since you have one overall reporting period, the description of the progress achieved, and you have to provide information on the contribution provided by each project partner. So this information must be very detailed in order to confirm that what expected by the application form has been effectively achieved. Again, problems, deviation, and so on, a level of achievement as explained before. And with regard to the implementation of the activities, you are requested to provide specific description at the level of deliverable and uploading of relevant attesting documents. Next slide. So the financial part of the project progress report is simply the list of certificates as issued by the different first level controllers. The lead partners has simply to click in this section provided here in my slide in order to guarantee that the financial part is correctly filled in. Next slide. Again, in the attachment section, as in the lead partner is requested to prepare, to make it signed by the legal representative and to upload the declaration, which is valid as considered as the request for payment on behalf of all the partners, the project partners, based on their certificates. The template is available in the ADREN website. Next slide, please. Please consider that an additional information document is required to be filled in and uploaded into the attachment section of the report one. The template is again available in the other website. Information to be provided relates to the contribution of the project to the EUSA strategies and to the macro-regional strategy objectives, to the contribution to specific topics that can be eventually have been, let's say, indicated in the application form, and to the adoption of specific measures to reduce the environmental impact. You can find the details on the information to be provided in the template. Next slide. So just to recap the payment flow, is project partner, delivery of certificates, the lead partner prepare the project progress report and includes the certificates. Then it is submitted to the MNJS, verification will be carried on, and once the report is approved, the certifying authority will be repaid the lead partner, which will be then pay each share to its partner without delay. And that's all from my side. I thank Barbara for this showing my slide and give the floor to the next presentation. Thank you.
So thank you, Lucia, very much. And now I would like to, give me a second. I would like to give the floor to my next colleague. Sorry, I have to close. Okay. To my next colleague, I have a problem with this, with the Zoom. So I ask the next one, I think it is Adela, if I, to take the floor, because I cannot see not even the agenda any longer. So I do not want to waste the time of the participants. So I kindly ask the next one in the agenda.
Hi, everybody.
Okay,
I'm trying to share my screen. I don't know if you see the screen actually now.
Yes, yes.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So my presentation will be concentrated on the project modification. As we all know, projects are subject of internal and external constraints and conditions that bring them to some modifications. It's important to know which are the modifications which are allowed, which are the minor and the major modification in the context of our program. So minor and major modifications substantially are distincted by the impact that they produce at the project level and by the relevance that they have. Let's start with the project modification which are not allowed to be performed. My colleague Lucia already announced to you some of them. The first of them is the project duration, which
I don't know if it's for everyone, but I just see the first slide.
The first slide.
I don't know if everyone has this problem.
Put in presentation mode.
Yes, I have already done, but I don't know why it's not
doesn't
working.
work.
It doesn't work. I already. It is.
Now it's moved to slide
No,
3.
it's okay. Slide
Yes,
3.
it's to not allowed modification. It's okay. No.
Yes,
not
now it's
allowed,
okay.
Not
Now it's
allowed
okay.
modifications.
No, it's
yeah.
okay. Okay. So it's important to highlight which are the modifications which are not allowed to be done during the project lifetime. So the first one, Lucia already mentioned in its presentation, is the extension of the project duration. Due to the fact that we are actually in the last period of the project of the program implementation, it's not possible to extend the project duration of your project more than 9 months. So you have to stick to the indication, to the timeline that you have in your project. It's not allowed to modify the spending forecast, so the distribution per period, but this you have only one period, so it's not possible to do any change on that. It's not possible to change the contribution that your project will bring to the project program result of the program. It's not possible to change the contribution to the orientation towards the equality between men and women and non-discrimination, as well as the positive and neutral contribution to the environment. Now, let's start with the minor modification. The minor modification, as I already said, are those modifications which do not have a substantial impact on the project, which do not modify the intervention logic or have an impact on the overall project goal. These modifications are usually are approved, not usually, but are approved by the managing authority NJS.
Sorry again, Adela, the slides are not moving, so.
Are not moving. And now?
No, they're still on slide number 3.
I will try, just give me a moment. I will try to stop sharing and restart sharing. Just a moment.
Or you can just move through slides without entering the presentation mode.
It is better in this way.
At least you can move manually. Yes, now you are in slide number 5.
Now in the slide number 4.
No, yeah, now it's 4. Now it's 4. So with some delay, but if you do not, no, if you press presentation mode, it gets stuck somehow.
And I will turn back. It's better in this way, so you can see it now.
Just please zoom it a little bit.
I don't have the possibility. That's the point. Give me a moment.
Here, there.
Yes.
Just
Now.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay. But if I am putting this way,
Adela,
I'm not. Yeah.
It's Barbara speaking. So in case of need, I can also share your PowerPoint presentation like I did for Lucia in case of problems. But if for everybody is okay, you can continue. I immediately stop.
Let me know if it's clear. I can continue in this way. or-
Okay, so let's try. In case of problems, I will share the slides on your behalf. Okay.
Okay. So these modifications are, some of them have a technical and administrative character, and in this way, I'm referring here to some changes in, for example, in the bank account or storage, the place where the documents of the project are stored, or, for example, changes in the lead partner legal representative or partners representatives, or contact details, or the VAT status, or the change of the partners or lead partners names, which will not have an impact on its legal status. And some others are related to some adjustments refer to the work plan or the budget. So in the case of the bank account change or the location where the documents are stored, it is necessary to update the section in EMS, the so-called section supplementary information, and inform the JS on this modification. These are very important due to the fact that the bank account is the place where the contribution, the reimbursement is performed by the program. So it's important that you inform us on such a change. The same is for the places where the documents are stored, in order to know at any time where the on-the-spot checks or other verifications can occur during the project implementation. As you can see, some other modifications refer to the application form, as the case of the legal representative of the lead partner and partner, or the contact details, or the VAT status. All the modifications, all the minor modifications, it will not be allowed to modify. So it will not be allowed to modify the application form. So you are required to inform us and to send for each of the modifications that you would like to perform, a communication to the JS project officer that you have, informing on this necessity, providing the necessary documentation. So it can be, for example, in the case of the legal representative, the document which attests the change, the power of signature, and then the ID of the new legal representative of the lead partners, or in the case of the partners, the power of signature of the new legal representative. And based on that, we will check and accept this modification and instruct you to upload this information in the deviation section of your partner and project report. So you had the possibility to see it, but I will show you exactly the section on which you are required to put this indication, and upload the necessary documentation, the supporting documents, in the attachment of the project report and the partner report. The only exception to this possibility is for the lead partner and partner name change. So only in this case, we will allow you to modify the application form, since it is important from the legal point of view for the eligibility of the expenditures to have the right name of the partner in the application form. But we are here talking about a change which occurred due to any change in the statute or a decree or law, so which do not have any effect on the legal status of the partner. Just to show you, but you already had the possibility to see it in the presentation of Lucia. This is the section that is called the deviation section. We are here in the report, in the project report. So the section has a more longer title, but it is the section devoted to all the problems and deviations that occurred during the implementation period. Let's go and see more in depth the two minor modifications which are related to the work plan and financial adjustment. When we are referring to change related to the work plan and financial adjustment, we are referring to some slight modifications which do not affect the intervention logic of the project, which do not have any impact on the conclusion of the project within the set deadline. So we are here talking about a change in the format of an activity or on a deliverable, in the change of the timeline, for example, the postponement of one activity or the completion of one deliverable, which will not postpone the duration of the project. We are here talking about the involvement of one partner initially not foreseen in one activity, or some small adjustments, which a reallocation of some budget within the same budget line and VP, as can be the case, the participation of in one event that was not initially foreseen, which do not have any impact on the targets or deliverables or others. What is not considered a minor change is the reduction of the quantity and the quality, or the change of the nature of the outputs and deliverables, or reducing the targets and indicators of the target groups. Pay attention because in your call, there were some activities which were considered some minimum requirements, and it can be the case of the summer schools or the implementation of this training and education concept. So you can change the way these concepts are implemented, but you cannot change these minimum requirements, as in this case you are affecting the implementation, you are affecting the intervention logic of your project. Another minor change in the context of our program is the budget flexibility. The budget flexibility refers to a reallocation of the budget from one budget line to another, or from one work package to another, or both, between budget lines and work packages, which can be up to 20% or to a maximum of 40,000 euro, whichever is high. This means that both limits and both conditions posed at program level are checked. And this calculation that it is done at project level, not at partner level. Even in this case, the project will not be allowed to make any revision of the application form. Therefore, the lead partner is required to monitor carefully the respect of these thresholds. It is necessary that the lead partner collects all the deviations from the budget point of view by all the partners and calculate every time these deviations at project level, ensuring that the flexibility rules are respected. This is necessary due to the fact that the JS will verify the respect of the flexibility thresholds only at the closure of the project, and will apply deductions if necessary, if in some cases the flexibility rules have not been totally respected or they are exceeded. It is important to pay into attention that flexibility does not mean that you can exceed your project budget, your partner budget. You cannot exceed the overall project budget. The ERDF and EPA two amounts cannot be exceeded, so they have to be to remain as they are in the application form. The spending forecast cannot be changed. The budget allocation cannot be cannot bring to an alteration of the overall project intervention logic, and we are referring here of, for example, the reduction of a budget of one VP, which makes this VP irrelevant. so bringing, impacting on the deliverables and outputs, or reducing substantially the role of one partner in one WUPI, which impacts indirectly the activities or the deliverables. When you are changing and you are moving some funds from one budget line to another, you have to pay attention that when you are performing changes in the staff cost, you are automatically changing also the office and administration, which is calculated on that behalf. So it is based on that. And a modification has to pay attention on the expenditure which has been already incurred and paid, and the reference is also here to the preparation costs. These are the examples, just to show you how both limits are calculated. So in the first example, you see that we have an increase of the budget line number 2 of 60,000 euro, but so it is higher than 40,000 euro, but in total the change is within the limit of 20%. So this is acceptable, and this is within the flexibility rule. According to our program. In the second case, we have the case of increase of the work package number 1 of 41,000 euro, which is higher than the limit of 40,000, but this change is of 27.3%. So both limits of 20% and 40,000 are exceeded. So this is not one example within the flexibility rule. How to proceed? How to proceed in the case of the minor modification. So as I said before, you are required to send a preliminary communication to the JS, uploading all the necessary documentation and providing the justification for this change. We will check and we will confirm that these modifications are within the limits set by the program. And we will advise you to proceed indicating them in the partner and project report in the deviation section, uploading all the necessary documentation in the attachment section of your application form of project rep. In the case of the exception that I said before, on the case of the lead partner or partner name change, which this has not affect the legal status, these documents will be checked by us, and in case we will be convinced that these do not have an effect on the legal status, we will advise you to open to send a request for modification via EMS. Based on that, we will open the application form and allow you to perform the modification. Let's see now what are the major changes. The major changes are those changes which go beyond the minor ones that we saw before, which have an impact on your project activities, and which require an amendment of the subsidy contract and consequently a partnership agreement. Of the partnership agreement. These modifications are approved by the monitoring committee. So these modifications, the procedure is time consuming, and these are allowed in the context of our program, but are strongly recommended due to the fact that your projects have a very limited time for the implementation. You should stick to these modifications only if these are vital for your project implementation. This is due to the fact that it takes time to make all the modifications necessary, as the amendment of the subsidy contract and then all the partnership agreement. And when these procedures from the legal point of view are performed, quite your project is concluding. So they enter in force when your project is quite at the last part. The major modifications allowed are the modification of the partnership, of the work plan, and the budget. This request must be submitted to the managing authority in JS up to 3 months before the project end date. Let's see the first one. So the first one, it is related to the partnership changes. The program foresees several cases from the withdrawal of one partner without replacement, the withdrawal of associated partner not replaced, the withdrawal of one partner that is replaced by one partner already inside the partnership, or a withdrawal partner which is replaced by a new partner. Another option foreseen is the one related to the partner which is experiencing a structural or legal change, and in this case, a modification of the partnership is required. In all these partnership changes, the partnership has to pay attention to the fact that the presence of the minimum partnership eligibility requirements will be checked. So in your case, the participation of the ERDF and in IPA countries has to be checked. Otherwise, it will not be possible to submit it to the attention of the monitoring committee. The partnership has to justify these changes, showing that this modification will not jeopardize the project implementation. And this is, for example, the case of the non-replacement partner. In this case, the partnership should show that even though this partner is not, it will not be inside, the activities will have the same results in any case. In the case of the withdrawal partners, the partner which has already reported some costs has to respect all the obligations set on the retention of the documentation. In case of the replacement of a partner, it is necessary that the partner is replaced from another one which is located in the same partner state, in order to allow that the partner takes over the responsibility and all the activities that the other partners have left. It is necessary that the change in the partnerships do not affect the RDF and IPA project partners shares. So these are remain unchanged. So if one partner, IPA one, is leaving the partnership, it is replaced by another one that belongs to the IPA partnership, and is the same for the RDF ones. In case of the legal change, so in the case of the partner which experiencing a structure or a legal change, the new entity that will enter in the partnership will take over all the responsibilities and obligations of its predecessors. So even in the case of respect of the audit trail, eventual follow-ups, and taking the responsibility of eventual irregularities that may occur during the implementation of the project, and all the request for change for the partnership change need to be supported by supporting documents that based on the type of the partnership change are, for example, the letter of the withdrawal partner, the acknowledgement of the change by the partnership of the project, so the minutes of the steering committee or other meetings that have been set in place by the project. The communication by the lead partner that this change will not affect and jeopardize the project implementation. In the case of the new partners, this partner has to demonstrate to have the capacities to implement the activities that have been left by the withdrawal partner, and to show that he has the willingness, the competencies and the time available to implement these activities on the ground, to update the commitment of the new partners, that if it is new, in this case, a new partner declaration, it is required to be submitted. In case if the activities have been taken over by an existing partners, the partner declaration of this partner has to be revised, showing the commitment. And all these documents has to be submitted to the JS for the previous checks before submitting them to the approval of the monitoring committee. In case of the budget modification, here we are talking about budget changes which exceed the flexibility rules. This refers to the reallocation between partners or between budget lines and work packages up to 20% and 40,000 euros, that are limit of the flexibility. The budgetary allocations are allowed if this reallocation of the resources is done between the partners benefiting from the same source of funding. So among the ERDF partners and among the IPA partners, and it's not allowed to go that one ERDF partner give its resources to the IPA one or vice versa. There are some restrictions, so they cannot affect the activities that are considered state aid. I know that in your project there are no activities relevant to state aid, but I put it already just to pay attention to this aspect. They cannot be related to the preparation costs and the expenditures already paid, cannot affect the spending forecast, and cannot make the budget of one partner irrelevant within the project. The supporting documents refer to the shared knowledge of the partnership of these changes. Motivation of these changes may be related to the new distribution of the activities among the partners. The partners' declarations. The work plan changes. In this case, the request for modification is related to some changes in the activities outputs that is necessary to be justified before these activities take place. So 1 month at least before these activities take place. The project partners has to take into consideration that these changes should not alter the project goals and objectives. You have to pay attention to the fact that your projects were linked to some minimum requirements that should not be altered and should not be modified, but should be respected. The contribution to the project results must not be changed. The orientation towards men and women and non-discrimination, as well as for the environment. They have not to change the contribution within the partnership of one partner, and the request must have an exhaustive justification. If taking into account that deliverables and outputs are very well defined at code level, so they have to be not changed as they are relevant for considering successful your project. How to proceed? As I said before, the timeline foreseen is complex. So when you send this preliminary communication to the JS, along with all the supporting documents, we will immediately react, making the analysis and preparing this analysis to be submitted to the approval of the monitoring committee, which takes its normal time of 15 days for its approval. In case of legal status change, or in the case of the new partners, these partners are checked by the NCPs, the national contact points, in terms of their legal status, related to their absence of fraudulent behavior. So you have to take into consideration even this part of the activities that is done. Afterwards, the managing authority and the JS inform the lead partner on the decision taken by the monitoring committee and invite them to proceed with the request for modification in EMS. And afterward, we unlock the application form, allowing the lead partner to perform the changes in the application form that would afterwards will be checked and approved in the system. Following this approval in the system, the program performs the so-called amendment of the subsidy contract that is signed first by the managing authority, as sent to be countersigned by the lead partner. And afterwards, the lead partner is required to modify and to reflect this modification in the partnership agreement. The date of the approval, it is retroactively from the date when the written request it is sent to the managing authority by the lead partner. Here is the section that shows you how to perform the modification request in the system. So in the left side of your menu, you will find the button modification request overview. By clicking on that, you have you have to click on the request modification, and then it will appear a sort of email box on which you are required to select among the different categories. Pay attention that it will display even the possibility to change the end date duration, which do not apply in your case. So select among the options that you will have. So the change of the partnership, budget, or the activities. Please then attach all the supporting documents that you have provided to us. And by clicking, by sending this communication, you will see that a new row will appear in the system, and this modification has been correctly sent to the JS. That's all from my side. I hope I have not taken too much time. So I leave now the floor to the following colleague, Barbara. The floor is to you.
Okay, thank you, Adela. I also saw in the chat that there were already some questions that were already answered. One just arrived. My question to you all is whether you would like to do a short break now or after the next presentation, as it was initially planned. So if nobody, if you want, we can continue with the next presentation and then have a break. Do you accept it? We can continue, Mrs.
Yes,
Alexia. The family name is too difficult to me, so let's continue. So Marco, I give you the floor. Now we move to the financial aspects of the project's implementation. And Marco Zecchinato will give you an overview with regard to budget lines and audit trails. So I give you the floor to Marco Zecchinato, please.
Thank you. I hope you can see in full screen. Can you confirm?
Yes, it's okay.
Yes, very good.
Great, thank you. So I am one of the finance officers in charge of your project. I promise you I will be very short. I will give you just an overview of the budget lines in relation with the audit trail, which means the documents that you will need to retain and to provide to your first level controllers in order to have the expenditure verified and then reimbursed. Just let me remember once again need to proceed with the signature of your partnership agreement and to upload it in EMS in case you still did not do, because the managing authority is proceeding with advance payment for your IPA partners. So for the late ones to upload the signature, the partnership agreement, please do it. And the same is valid for report 0. So as soon as you have uploaded in EMS your partnership agreement, you can also open your report 0 to claim your preparation costs, to submit them to your controllers and then to the JS. So here is a table about staff cost in case you selected the option to have them as real costs. You see there are 4 columns depending on the methodology that you decided or your partners decided to adopt to calculate them. I will not go into detail. You will have these presentations after the meeting, but be aware that depending on the methodology, you have to provide different kind of documents and supporting documents for your staff. In the other case, if you decided for a flat rate reimbursement of staff cost, you should not provide anything except this declaration that are described in the slide. Office administration is reimbursed as a flat rate, so it is automatically calculated by the system and you do not need to provide any other documentation. For travel accommodations, I simply remind you the general principles of eligibility. So you are requested to always choose the most economical way of transportation unless it is duly justified. And please remember that travel accommodation are only for the staff of a partner. So other external experts, speakers, even associated partners, in case they are invited to attend a meeting, should be accounted under external expertise and not under this budget line. The audit trail of external expertise works as shown in this figure. So you should provide evidence of a selection procedure. You should provide the contract or the written agreement and the invoices of a request for payment that you had to pay. You have to provide evidence of a deliverable produced and then the proof of a payment. Concerning equipment, I just remind you that equipment must be for the general office use, and it must be demonstrated that is for the exclusive use of a project. Otherwise, it will fall under the category office and administration. Kindly consider that your project is very short, so in case the item is depreciable, according to your national legislation, be aware that the depreciation period starts from the moment when you purchase the item until the end of a project, so just a few months. And also be aware that the procurement procedure for purchasing equipment can be quite long and time demanding. So it is good if you're ready for the SO and set in place everything at the beginning of your project implementation. As general rules concerning the eligibility of expenditure, just be aware that not only you but also all your partners stick to what is written in the application form. So all expenditure must be listed, must be incurred in the eligible period of the duration of a project, must be essential for the implementation of a project and borne directly by beneficiary. Moreover, it is necessary that they comply with the principle of sound financial management, efficiency, effectiveness, and economy, and that they follow the public procurement rules that my colleague will explain after the break. Double funding is not allowed, and remember that both the lead partner and partners must set up a separate accounting system specifically for the project. Of course, all expenditures must be validated by your first level controller. At the trail, so as you are surely aware of, is the sum up of all these procedures. So the keeping track of all the financial documents and all the additional necessary documents that are necessary for the financial flow of a project. And it must be, I already said, kept both at level of partner and the project level. It is necessary that both the lead partner and the project partners have a file with all the transaction that can be provided upon request. And of course, all the proof for payments, the supporting documents, the reports, the contracts, the subsidy contract, the partnership agreement, and so forth. Last, this slide you already have. I don't go in detail. You saw it when was the kickoff meeting, and the presentation from the JS is just an example of document retentions for the different possible documents of your project. So keep in mind that sometimes the lead partner just thinks to his own part, but partners must be clearly advertised and informed that it is also their duty to provide, to keep and to provide all these documents. And finally, remember that it's necessary to annul the invoices in order to avoid double funding. So each expenditure must, you must provide produce a stamp related to the project where all the information listed in the slide are given, or in case the invoices are electronic, this information must be inside the electronic document. So from my side, it's all. I stop the sharing and I give the floor to Barbara again.
Okay, thank you very much, Marco. So now let's have a short break. And now it is 3:43. Let's meet again in 10 minutes sharp. I saw that there are also some questions to be answered. We will provide all the answers at the end of the whole PowerPoint presentation. So thank you for your attention. I saw that meanwhile our participants increased quite substantially. Thank you very much for having accepted our invitation, and see you at 3:54 sharp. Bye. Bye-bye. Okay, welcome back. Now I would like then to start again our meeting with you, our online meeting. I give the floor to my colleague Jelena Kolic. And Jelena will provide you with a presentation regarding public procurement. So I give the floor to Jelena. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Barbara, and hello to everybody. I'm Jelena Kolic. I'm IPA officer, and now I will just present you an overview of the public procurement within your projects. So as I said, this is just a short overview on public procurement, and this refers to the processes by which US project partners will engage service providers or buy equipment for your projects. And main principles for all of these procedures are transparency. That means that all, let's say, conditions must be known to all those who are interested to participate. Proportionality, that means that the price must be in line with what you are asking as a service or equipment, so that these services or goods must not be overpaid. Equal treatment, that means equal access to all information to all interested parties, and non-discrimination, that there must not be discrimination based on, let's say, on origin or any other condition. So there is also a set of rules that all project partners, no matter what's their legal status and country of origin, they must comply with when dealing with the procurement in the projects. So these rules are different. If we are talking about project partners from EU member states that are using ERDF funds, and on the other hand, for IPA partners from non-EU member states. So first of all, we will start with the rules that apply for partners from EU member states using ERDF funds. Here, if we start from the bottom, well, for the majority of the procedures that are below 5,000 euros, VAT is excluded, and up to national thresholds, there are no specific program rules here. However, if there are some national or institutional rules, they must be followed. And in any case, those principles that were listed at the beginning must be respected. This means transparency, equal treatment, proportionality, and non-discrimination. Then let's say a second case is for public procurements that are above 5,000 euros and up to national thresholds. In this case, we have a program rule that requires project partners to send requests to 3 service providers. And here again, if there are some institutional or national rules that are stricter for the procurements in this between, let's say, these thresholds, they must be followed. And finally, national rules are applicable for contracts that are within national thresholds, and EU directive rules for those that are thresholds that are defined in this directive. There is also a document published by the European Commission on public procurement guidance that also could be useful, that will, let's say, explain some main mistakes that will help you to avoid them. And now we are moving to public procurement for IPA partners. This is important, especially for those project partners that didn't have experience with, let's say, European territorial cooperation programs, because in this case, we have specific rules set by European Commission that are part of a document called Practical Guide on Contract Procedures for EU External Actions, short PRAG, that must be followed in all cases. So there is no other options for project partners from non-EU member states, from IPA countries. So this is the only document that must be followed for the threshold. And also the templates for each of these procedures must be used in all cases of public procurements. So here, the first threshold is set to 2,500 euros. It's a little lower with respect to the one we had for ERDF partners. And here, in this case, payments may be made against invoice. So it is not necessary to have any kind of procedure, tender procedure before that. But also in this case, there might be some, let's say, recommendations or requests from, let's say, national controllers that will be and probably are also presented to you at the national level. And in this case, we also have our network of national contact points, our colleagues that are based in each adjunct participating countries that can always also provide assistance in this matter. So the next thresholds and all of your procurements within fifth call will be among these 2,500 euros and 20,000 euros. Are requiring from you to launch this so-called single tender procedures. And again, all, let's say, necessary documents that must be used are part of this practical guide, PRAG document, that can be found on the website. You have a link here below. And you must use the version that is in force at the time that you launch your tender. The procedure the version that now is in force is from the summer of last year, and you can find it, as I said, here on this link. So just please have in mind that there is no other option for public procurement procedures for partners from IPA countries. So there are also some, let's say, general rules that you can also find in the implementation manual that are related to visibility of the tender, the requirements of, let's say, publication of the tender, And also what is important that it is not allowed to artificially split your tender, let's say to make more tenders for smaller amounts to avoid the more complex procedure. And also it is important that there is no conflict of interest if between, let's say, contracting authority, that in this case, it is you, like project partner, that is signing a contract with the service or good provider. So this is also part of tender documentation, these declarations that must be signed. And also in this case, as you saw in the previous presentation, it is necessary to keep all documents related to tender procedure as part of audit trail at the project level. So each partner that will launch public procurement procedure has this obligation to keep all relevant documents. So here again, let's just have this summary from the Commission guidelines. So this is for each, let's say, phase of the procurement procedure, just to help you to make sure that all steps and all procedures are respected. So, well, of course, it is, as always, of the utmost importance to have this good preparation and planning to take into account the time necessary for each of these procedures that you will have to launch, taking into account the thresholds, the amounts that you have available for services. So to analyze the market and define, let's say, the target, and then based on that to choose the appropriate procedure. And then also to publish it in line with the rules for that specific procedure. And then to ensure that, let's say, all criteria are, let's say, published and known to all that are interested to participate. And also, if it's necessary, to ensure that evaluation committee is set up on time, and to open and assess all tenders and select all tenders in line with the procedures you are applying. So during the implementation phase, it is also important to, let's say, find a way to deal with contract modifications, as this is also something that can happen. So at the end, some recommendations, again, from the Commission guidelines, starting for this division in lots. That will not be case for the tenders in the fifth call, because they are of smaller value. So in this case, just make sure that selection and award criteria are stated in the procurement documents, as well as the deadlines for the delivery of tenders. And here also in this phase, let's say it's necessary to anticipate possible risk, even for small tenders, and especially for those below 2,500 euros for IPA and below 5,000 for ERDF countries. Also, just to make sure that the contracts will be, I mean, the procedures will be executed based on your needs. Just maybe it will be a good idea to have, let's say, some kind of requests also shared with those service providers just before concluding the contract, just to be sure in cases the contractor is not able to deliver or not delivering the expected quality that you are, let's say, you have some kind of assurance. So what is not allowed, what you already said, it's not allowed to artificially split the tender to avoid more complex procedure. It is also not allowed to amend the award criteria during the procurement process. So it is something that must be known in advance and to all interested to participate, to submit the tender. Also, don't treat tenderers inequally. So what we said at the beginning, all, let's say, conditions must be known to all those who are willing to participate. And also it is not allowed to modify the contract unless it is in line with the rules on modifications. So here I will stop, and during your procedures, of course, we are all available to discuss in case there are some difficulties. So thank you. Barbara? I leave the floor to you.
Many thanks, Elena. I take the opportunity because I'm reading the chat, and a lady asks whether the documentation related to this call, I mean, the presentations of today will be uploaded on our website. The answer is yes, together with the dedicated implementation manual. This was mentioned at the very beginning by me when we started this meeting today. So you will have a dedicated implementation manual. So it is not the first call, it is the fifth call of the 2014-20 Adrian program. So nothing to do with the new program, whose name is IPA Adrian. And then the first call will be launched today. So a completely different story. And now, due to the fact that you listened many times the word EMS, meaning our tool, now my colleague Valentina Di Vincenzo, good afternoon, will provide you with a presentation to provide you with practical hints on how to use our system. So Valentina, the floor is yours, please.
Thank you, Barbara. Good afternoon to everyone. I'm Valentina Di Vincenzo. I am the EMS officer for Adrian program. And as Barbara already said, that we already talked a lot about EMS, and it will be my concern to try to explain you some tricky, maybe some deceiving features of the system. So let's try to share the presentation. Do you see it?
Yes.
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 Okay. Okay, so as many of you may know or could have realized, EMS stands for Electronic Monitoring System, and it's a tool where all the information related to the projects are achieved and are set together. So this means that many actors have access to the EMS, Joint Secretariat, Managing Authority, Certifying Authority, together with, of course, the projects, that is to say, lead partners and project partners, and of course also the FLC, the first level controllers. This means that the more accurate and precise are the information you provide, and the better everybody can work. You can access EMS or through the link that you will find on our website, or through the URL that has been provided in several documents, and that is also noted here in these slides. Just be sure, please, to register in Adrian EMS, because many other Interreg programs use EMS, and each program has its own. So please be sure to register in our own EMS system. One note for the LP. The lead partner has the possibility to access, to access the process, the project with two different roles, or LP or PP. So to the LPs, please be sure to select the role you want to act in that particular.
Sorry, the presentation is not going on, it seems. I don't know if it is only my problem.
No, it's the problem. I don't see also.
You don't see it, so
The first slide is
yes.
Yeah.
Try to click it on the next slide, please.
Okay. Do you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So as I said, the LP, the lead partner, can choose among two different roles, or project partners, partner or lead partner. This is important because in order to fill in the partner report, it has to choose PP, project partner. While in order to fill in the project progress report, it has to choose LP, lead partner. So please be aware about this difference. The task of the lead partner is also to check partner reports in read-only mode, of course, and eventually cut verified expenses. In this sense, it also can see PP's sensitive data and FLC certificates. And the task of the lead partner, as it already has been said, is to collect partner reports certified, and into the project reports and to submit it to the JS. While the project partner needs to fill in and submit its own partner report and upload personal data attachments. Okay, the first thing that you have to do when you start working on the project as a contracted project is to fill in the supplementary information section. How can you do that? You can just enter the EMS and choose your project that will appear in the dashboard. Once you enter the...
we see the second slide.
Oh, I stopped, wait. Wait.
Maybe Valentina.
Click on the left, please.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Can I?
Valentina, try to move the slides, and if not, maybe try to stop the sharing of the slides and upload them again. Maybe it works.
Okay, let's
try.
Like okay. Let's try. So when you enter your project, you will see this view. You will have this view, which is the reporting overview. Of course, at the beginning of the project, there will be nothing will be open yet. But as soon as the project will go on, you will see opening the different lines because the partner reports and the project reports will be open. So once you enter here, you have to click on the left side menu on supplementary information. Let's try if it works now. I switched the slide. Can you see it?
No, we can't. We can't. We can't read any.
No. Okay. Okay. So once you enter in supplementary information, these are the sections that you will see and that you are required to fill in. We strongly suggest to fill in first the user assignment section, although we are going through all the sections now. Okay. Okay, so the first section you will see is the project management section, and here you are asked to fill in the fields with the information on the project management team. So you are asked to provide information and names and contact data of the project manager, finance manager, and communication manager. Now I switch to bank information. Do you see it?
No.
Oh, sorry, I have to do it for each page then. Okay. So in the bank information section, details on the bank account of the lead partner are required. So in case of changes of bank data during the project implementation, please let the JS know as soon as possible. For each project partner, the name and contact data of the national controller have to be included. Decentralized system that is mainly the Italian first controllers have another procedure, and it's finally up to the national control assigning body to decide who will be the authorized controller. It's not up to the project partners. So this is the section that I mentioned above that we are kindly ask you to fill in as first section. Basically, it's very easy, but it can also be tricky. So I tried to explain it as easily as possible in this slide. But what you have to do basically is to assign the users to the project. So you have, first of all, you have to know the username that the project partner used to register on EMS. You have to write it in the first field called new user. Then you have to click on the add read write user button. And afterwards, in the third field, you will see that username appearing. In this way, you will assign the project partners. Be careful, please, especially for the lead partners, to assign yourself to in the lead partner user and in project partner, the first line. Let's try. I switched slide. Do you see it? No. Okay. In document section, information on the location of documents has to be provided by all project partners. In this section, bank information, you are required to provide the details on the back. Oh no, we already, sorry, I mixed the slides. Okay, here. Okay. Okay, in the partnership agreement section, information on signature of the partnership agreement by all project partners has to be provided. So please upload them here and be careful to correctly set the date. So each project partner will see only these 4 sections of supplementary information menu. And each section is the supplement, for each of these sections, the project partner has the read-only view. so it cannot edit it. Due to regulation on general data protection, GDPR, which introduces strict rules on data protection, EMS also has a personal data attachment section. Please note that the LP, since it must ensure that expenditure presented by all its partners has been verified, can have access to this section, together with the JS, the MA, the CA, and the AA that can access this section because of finance control purposes. But it's also important to note that project partners cannot see other partners' sensitive data. It's important to note that the EMS can also be used as a monitoring tool. How? You can easily download finance table, which are different kind of, from the reporting page that I show you at the beginning, the page that you are directly reverted when you enter the project. For example, on the left side menu, you will see that there will be this partner report overview that will show the partner expenses. The table reports all the expenses declared by the partner, verified by the FLC, and the amounts considered ineligible or temporarily not verified expenditure, which are also called sitting ducks. It also informs on the amount included in the project report by the LP and the eventual revisions of the JS or the MA. And it's important to note that these tables, all of these tables, can be downloaded as Excel files. Similar to the partner overview, there is also the partner living table, which is somehow a more detailed table, which also shows the detail per budget line, per work package, per budget line, and invoices outside the program area and expenditure spending profile. Please note that both partners, project partners and lead partners, can see eventual correction done by the controller by entering the list of expenditures section of the certified partner report. And as soon as no, you don't see anything, right? Okay. As soon as the controller has issued the certificate, the partners can see it through the magnifying lens that will appear in the specific column certificate. Guidelines are available through our website or following the the workflow described in the slide. And EMS can be a deceiving tool sometimes, but it can also helps a lot. So do not hesitate to contact me for any matter, but please be sure to read the guidance first, because many times we see that the questions can be answered already through the documents. If you do not find the answer, you can always contact me. So thank you for the attention. Barbara, I leave you the floor.
Yes, me again here. We apologize for the technical problems. I read in the chat that somebody has some difficulties in following Valentina's presentation. However, as I said before, all presentations, implementation manual, and also the EMS guidance will be available on our web, or then we will also decide to send them directly to you. Now, from our side, the very last presentation of our meeting, which is devoted to communication, promotion, and visibility of your activities. So my colleague Giulia Frattini will provide you with her presentation. So Giulia, if you are ready, I give you the floor.
Thank you, Barbara. Good morning, good afternoon to everybody, and pleased to meet you. My last presentation, it will be quick, so I think there was enough for today, and lots of information were provided. I'm just trying to share my screen. Can you tell me if you are if you see the presentation in presentation
Yes,
mode?
we do.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so you know already more or less since you have started your activities, and also you have received part of the communication kit. You know our let's say our rules regarding visibility, which are the requirements provided by the European Commission. There are some rules that must be complied with, because especially when it comes to publicity, we need your project, your activities, and everything that you produced under your project to be visible, and also that the EU emblem, and also which is represented by the logo that we provided to you, is fully visible. This is mainly because you are profiting of European funds. So this means that the source of funding must be fully acknowledged. You know that communication is an important part of your project. And the communication activity needs to be foreseen and planned since the very beginning. So it's very important that your project is visible, and this visibility is effective. We are helping you in order to increase this effectiveness by providing you with harmonized branding, an harmonized branding communication kit. But you should make sure that through your activities, you reach a broader target audience. So, as I said, the reference to the co-financing source in all communication activity must be provided. Everything is already included in the project logo that we sent to you. So this will be enough as a reference to the funding scheme. Again, as you know, as you have, I think you have already read the visibility guidelines, you need to provide with a short description of the project on the partner institutional websites. This will be checked in the progress report. So you should start since the very beginning by dedicating a specific space on your own institutional organizational website with the information regarding the project. Then we have provided to you a poster in A3 format, fully editable, and this must be filled out and also hang in a place which is public place where everybody can see that you have been granted this type of operation. In case of infrastructures, I'm not sure if it's your case, I don't think so, but in case of even small infrastructures, the project must display first in the first moment a temporary billboard that will become a permanent plaque of significant size, and it will be placed in somewhere which is visible to the public. So the communication kit that we have sent to you and provided to you, it's the project logo, the project poster, and the project website, as you know. There are the project brand visibility guidelines that basically include all the relevant rules for visibility requirements, and the website manual that will help you fill and populate and update your own project website. So just for you to recall that you're not allowed to develop your own project logo unless is decided in the stage during the stage of the project confirmation, project application confirmation. So you're not allowed to develop even your own poster or a dedicated another type of project website. What we have provided to you must be shouldn't be changed. So if for publicity reasons, the project logo, the poster, and the project website must be kept the same. So this is already, you have received the logo. This is just to provide you as a way of example, all the formats that we send to you. You can use the logo in different format, horizontal or vertical, negative or color. The most important thing is that you keep it visible, you keep it prominent, especially compared to other project partners logo. It's very common that we see project partners logo in a prominent way rather than your project logo. This shouldn't happen because the rule is that on a surface where you find multiple logos, the project logo must be the bigger one, and to decide if it's bigger than the other, you must look at the EU flag. And the EU flag must be always bigger than other type of logos on the same surface. These are type of gadget that you may produce, and this is the way normally the logos must be displayed. Here is the poster. So as you know, it's a poster that is fully editable, and it cannot replace roll-ups, banner, or interactive kiosk. This is let's say the type of communication material that we need for visibility requirements. Then, of course, you can produce whatever additional communication material you wish to, including also roll-ups, including different type of poster or leaflets. But this is the poster we have provided to you is the first requirements that we want you to display it, and to hang it somewhere in a visible place at your institution's premises. This is the website. Of course, it's a way of example. It's not none of your projects. You know that you have some editable and non-editable sections. If you want to put a picture on the background, because it's much nicer and also it attracts more audience, you can ask me directly, you can send me directly a picture, and that will be uploaded by us. Here you have, as I said, the different type of sections. I know that you have started already to populate the website, so please feel free to ask in case you have any doubts. In the next days, I guess it has been said already, we will publish all the documents regarding the implementation, the project implementation, in a dedicated page on our website. Under projects, there is a subsection for which collects all project documentation. So you will also find the documentation related to communication, basically the project brand and visibility guidelines, the implementation manual, and the project website user manual. For any questions, I'm here to reply, and also in case in the future you have doubts or for clarification, you can always send me an email. From my side is it. Thank you.
Thank you, Giulia. This was our last presentation regarding our meeting. Needless to say that in case of first-hand information with regard to national rules and so forth, you can also directly address to the national contact point. Their email and phone number are available on our program website, and I think that some of them are also attending this meeting. I see the national contact point from Slovenia, for example. I saw Mrs. Kos. I saw Dragan Popovic from Serbia. Let me do a quick check. I also see Katerina Temeli from Greece. And I'm just checking. No, there is also a representative of our monitoring committee. Okay, good afternoon. Okay, so I do not see any other at a glance. I did a quick check. I apologize for those colleagues from the national contact point that I did not mention. Please show up if I did. It was not intention to do any diplomatic mistake. This was also some time to think of given to you in case you have some questions for us. So you are free to directly ask them to us without writing in the chat so that it will be quicker. So we will wait for questions just for some minutes, for some additional minutes. And if not, then we thank you for having stayed with us this afternoon. So let's wait a little bit. Let me take the opportunity to remind you that all the material will be available on our program website, or we will send to you directly. Kindly remind also to spread this information to your project partners if they did not have the chance to be with us today. And let's see, let's wait for another couple of seconds. Okay. So if there are no questions from you, I mean, those that were written in the chat were already answered by my colleagues. So if there are no questions at this moment, no problem. I mean, if some questions will pop up in the following days, you are free to address directly to us. I thank you for your kind attention and have a nice continuation of your afternoon. Thank you very much again. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.